to another episode of NFTs with Keys. I'm your boy Keys, and that's my boy Rick. Say hi, Rick.
What up? What's good?
Yeah, I have to apologize for not being around last week. I was sick. I was not feeling well. Um, but that gave me time to reflect on some things in the NFT space. You know, kind of like how everything's falling, everything's crashing. Gave me time to cry without anyone seeing me.
You know what? I have to bring this up. So we do see the chat. We'll try to be more inclusive. Let's talk about inclusivity. We'll include you too, chat. So pipe in with your questions. We'll answer them when they come in.
Yeah, exactly. So for today, we're going to talk about what Bill Gates said about NFTs, as well as uh, Bored Apes being under $100,000 on the floor. So that's kind of
Affordable.
cool. We'll kind of discuss that and see how that goes, and then we also are going to bring on Rob from the Crypto Bytes podcast a little later to talk about how NFTs are kind of being affected the most in this crypto crash and this bear market we're in right now. So yeah, let's just jump into Bill Gates and what he said. Um, and I'm kind of biased because I'm not a big Bill Gates fan. Like, don't get it wrong, Microsoft, revolutionized the way PCs run, and it's a great like product, or it was at some point. I haven't really used it in a long time, but this billionaire douche nozzle just completely dismisses all cryptocurrencies and
Well
NFTs.
said.
NFTs. Like he kind of has a point, and I'll kind of touch down on it a little later. But he says NFTs are based on greater fool theory, and he's not wrong in the sense if you really look into what greater fool theory is. But it's just kind of like who you don't believe in cryptocurrency. You think it's all stupid. I mean, he even got in a fight with what's it called, with Elon Musk over this, over Elon Musk about cryptocurrencies. I mean,
Huh.
yeah. Anyways, we'll get to that. But at this climate conference, because apparently, the billionaire who owns a company that pushes out 10 billion metric tons of CO2 is going to preach to you about your carbon footprint. But hey, you know, but what he said is he was like he was quoted saying, "Obviously, expensive digital images of monkeys are going to improve the world immensely."
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we went to a restaurant that was based off of this. I'm happy because
Delish.
I was there. I got to
Hey,
eat
that
that.
was supposed to be a pop-up. Now it's a permanent.
Yeah, and then what else is there? There's a TV show, or there was going to be a TV show until Seth Green's Bored Apes got stolen. So it's like there is more to it than just the image. It just depends on the utility that you're going to create with these NFTs. But like I said, Gates also was very notoriously got in a fight with Elon Musk about how Bitcoin isn't a good investment for retail investors and that the mining is destroying the environment. Okay, sure, mining does use a lot of energy, but most of the mining's happening in the United States, and there's a lot of ways to off-put your carbon footprint in that way. I mean, a lot of these NFT projects too, especially on like Cardano blockchain, that like what they would do is, they plant trees, they build homes, they do other stuff to kind of offset the carbon footprint that they put in. So to kind of just blast it as like, oh, this is really bad, and again, his company puts out 10 million metric tons a year. And it's like, sure, Bitcoin mining puts out like 50 metric tons, but that's also because Bitcoin mining happens in countries that have no EPA standards,
True.
like Russia, like China. I'm sure China doesn't really, but like, like in India, I'm sure there's people in India doing this, and they have no standards of carbon footprint stuff. So I feel like it's kind of a red herring of an argument. Like, why are you going to do that?
I agree.
And so it's like, and then the other thing too that really bugs me about Bill Gates is he's like, it's not good for retail investors. So you out there right now, who you might go to swanbitcoin.com /AGC for 10 free dollars in Bitcoin. That's bad for you. That's what That's what Bill Gates is telling you right now. Do not do that, but you should do that. So it's just like that doesn't make any sense. Like, think about it. Like, you as a person that might have some money and want to invest in cryptocurrency, where Bitcoin is probably the most solid one, especially if it goes under 10K, it's gonna skyrocket once we're in a bull market again. And you're gonna be thanking
Backing
everybody.
the dump truck up once that happens. This time around, the question when asked to me, hey, do you want to go in on a 10K Bitcoin? My answer is going to be a very loud and a very affirmative yes.
Yeah, but you see, so that's kind of the issue though. Like Bill Gates, is a billionaire, is telling the normies, the plebes, the less than plebes, don't get generational wealth, don't go invest. And then in the same breath, he sits there and tries to defend digital banking efforts through his philanthropic foundation. So it's like, so you don't want people to get their own wealth their own way, but you want people to go into a centralized digital banking system that your company makes. That's bullshit.
Let's not forget about the genetically altered mosquitoes that are being passed around in Disneyland. This is not a conspiracy. It's happening right now.
But you know what I mean. So it kind of bugs me though that someone that's that big and powerful, and then also too, Rob, before we hopped on the show, he was just saying that there's a Bill Gates chill thing or whatever, where when Bill Gates says no to something, it happens that way. I mean, yes, obviously that's going to happen. Kind of like when Elon Musk was hyping up Dogecoin at peak Dogecoin. It skyrocketed because the Doge father was on SNL, and then it tanked right
Yep.
afterwards because everyone's like, "Oh, this is bullshit." We just wanted to get it, hype it up so we could sell. Like,
Amen.
yeah, so it's just like, it's one of those things. So I think it's really stupid. And then, like, it kind of bugs me that he did take a shot at Bored Apes, because this is going to lead into our next topic here. And he took a shot at Bored Apes, and Bored Apes are now starting to plummet. So there actually is kind of like a correlation to what, that he has power over markets. And that's kind of terrifying when you got this guy who clearly doesn't want you, the viewer, all 10 of you, or whoever you are, or however many people watch this on, after the
I'm looking
live
at you,
show.
Allie. We're looking at you.
But you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's messed up that they do this. That someone like that would do that. I mean, I get it. If you don't like it, cool. But at the same time, as I alluded to in the beginning, it does make sense, because greater fool theory is, you have a dumb idea and you just hope someone's dumber to invest in it. It's kind of NFTs
I
in a
think
nutshell.
Butters explained that the best.
What?
I think Butters, or was it Professor Chaus says it the best.
Yeah,
Victor Chaus.
yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that's,
Definitely.
and so he's not wrong. So yes, there are, but he's making it seem like every NFT project is a rug pull. There's plenty of NFT projects on the Cardano blockchain, on Ethereum as well too. They're like on Solana that are legitimate communities, and it's the art. And then it's also too kind of disparaging to any of these artists that are just trying to make a career in the art world, in the digital art world. That they're doing this because this is, sure, it's a fad to some people, but this is also a way that people are getting out of poverty.
It's true.
You know,
It's
like
true.
like I said when I first started doing the show, I know a guy who lives in India. He's making $300 a month now, and then at the peak of his, like, NFT career, I guess you could say, he was doing like 10 Ethereum a day, or 10 Ethereum like a week, and it's like, dude, he was living comfortably on $300 a month.
That's
Dude,
insane.
the dude's
Dude's the
rich now.
monopoly man now.
Yeah, in his like town or whatever, like. So I just think it's messed up that people with that much power want to disparage something just because they don't understand it or they don't like it. I get it. If you
Mm,
don't like it, don't support it. But there's no point in trying to like belittle it, where it's like there's so many like vast swaths of people that are now going to be hurting because of that. Which is weird to think that
true.
Bill Gates has that much sway over our life, but he does. Maybe not my
I
life, but
mean,
like other people's
this
lives.
is true, but I think all signs point to I might actually get a Bored Ape here very soon. I mean, all jokes aside, these gas fees are looking very nominal these days. Just
Yeah,
saying.
and that kind of segues into the next thing that we're going to talk about, and that's Bored Apes floor hitting sub 100K for the first time in almost a year. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but again, this is something that people call this project a blue chip NFT project.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, this is the first time that this project is really going to be tested, and if it survives, then it will be. I will consider it a blue chip because we are in a crypto crash.
I agree.
we're in this bear market where that's really the sign of a blue chip is can it survive bear markets and then still thrive in bull markets. So going on, Bored Apes, like I said, are blue chip, considered that they bring in hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the thing is, they're not still like not like they're cheap. I mean, I think the cheapest one is 80 ETH, so you're looking at $96,000 and some few $100. You know what I mean? Like, so about
A
90.
really nice Porsche.
You know what I mean? Like, it might have no. Actually, according to NFT Price Floor, the one that was sitting at the bottom of the floor did, I think, bottom out at $91,000 or $92,000.
Mm.
So again, still, this is entry level Bored Ape. Is still going to cost you more than most people make a year.
Surprisingly enough, the exact amount it'll cost you in medical bills for a bad paper cut. Only in America.
So yeah, but in terms of dollars, the cost to entry for Bored Ape NFTs has dropped nearly 78% in less than 2 months. So that's kind of insane to think about too. And then the
Mm.
floor price sat at around a record high of nearly 152 Ethereum on April 29th, the day before Bored Ape creators Yuga Labs launched its NFT virtual land sale called Other Side, which is for an upcoming NFT game that they're launching. So going kind of back to that, like in terms of ETH though, so we did in terms of dollars, in terms of Ethereum, the collection has seen a 47% drop since then. So that's pretty much a big significant drop when you think about it. But that's also too when you're looking at the way Ethereum has dropped. I mean, Ethereum's close to dropping below $1,000.
Oh, I can only hope. We're talking about, well, I mean, this all depends. If Bored Ape really falls down, then that means the hope for all blue chip NFTs are gone. But if Bored Ape survives, I might stock up on a little Ethereum so that I can purchase a couple of these things because I'd be a fool not to, based on everything that I've seen happen up to now.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely. And then kind of measured in USD from that point, Bored Apes are down 54% in the last 30 days. Uh, Kind of bringing in some other stuff too. Crypto punks are down 48% in the same span. Uh,
Hmm.
Moonbirds have shredded about 62% of their value. So I mean, everything's down. I know I messaged you in our show chat that the Mechaverse floor is down to 0.0125. So it's like,
We coming.
and we all thought that was going to be the next blue chip. Shit, I did. So it's just like I'm probably going to hop into that now that but I'm poor, so like I made bad crypto
You
decisions. So
know, and then that's why we have to keep circling back to this. So you guys got to go to swanbitcoin.com/AGC. It's $10 a free Bitcoin. Go ahead and sign up. We got to supplement keys here. I mean, we just got a mouth to feed here. We broke. We broke.
yeah,
You got to help us
so
out.
so yeah, but I mean, again, so it's just kind of like the whole market's down, so it's not a shock to see
Right.
Bored Apes kind of taking a hit, or some of these other projects taking a hit. But it does seem that like it seems like a bargain. So it is kind of cool, but it's like you also got to look at the way like this is happening is people need to sell off because they need to get rid of their assets in order to buy milk or $7
Yeah,
gas if you live here in
that's right. You
California.
can't eat those paper gains, ladies and gentlemen. You got to liquidate so that you can pay your bills or you can eat. Because like those digital ones and zeros, the digital paper looks good on an app, but you can't eat your cell phone. You
Yeah,
know what I
so
mean?
yeah, and I think
Can't
that's
eat
what
clout. Can't eat clout.
yeah, and that's kind of what you're seeing right now with everything is people are forced to do this based off of not just the United States, government and their inflationary policies, but this is also the whole world is this way. It's not just the United States. If it was just the United States, you probably wouldn't see this hard of a drop off because there are people in other countries that are that own these NFTs as well. I mean, sure, a majority of it is probably in the states, but so the whole world is looking on close to a recession. I mean, the United States is about a month away from announcing that. So,
I mean,
I mean, if you look
let's
at the
let's
real
not.
definition of a recession, we've been in a recession for the last 3 months, but like that's neither here or there.
So what do we call this one? I mean, we had the Great Depression, and then we had the Great Recession. Now it's the you're effed. You effed. You know
Yeah,
what?
I mean,
That's it.
yeah, I mean,
Or
not
as
to
we
touch
call it,
not to
Democrats
touch too
America.
much into it, but inflation's at a 40-year high. None of
Where are those stickers? You know what I'm saying? The ones where you got that one guy pointing and it says, I did that. Oh, who's that guy again? Oh, that's right. President Biden, because he did that.
yeah, yeah, it's tough,
Uh,
dude. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I filled up gas the other day, and I was like, I'm only gonna put $45, half a tank.
Bro, this is NFTs with keys. I'm having to sell off my Bored Ape just to fill up my car at this point.
Right? Um, but yeah, so I mean, it is kind of crappy that there is this massive sell off. That people are having to do that. But it is what it is. Like I get it. So if you do happen to be in a position like kind of like you, Rick, and you got some money to throw around,
Oh,
you,
we cutting that out. I know it's a live stream, but forget you heard that, people. It's not true. It's not true.
you got more money than me. But like what I'm saying is you have money that you could invest if you want. If you wanted to invest into a project, you could. You
Yeah.
could buy an NFT if you wanted to. You choose to invest your money into other places. But that's my point, though. Is not everyone is hurting. That's what a recession is. A recession is when your neighbor lost their job. A depression is when you lose your job.
Huh. I never
So
thought about it like that.
yeah,
Good point.
yeah. So it's like right now, there's still people out there that this is a bargain to them buying any of these NFTs. And I mean, I think more power to those people. But it is crappy that everyone's taking a hit right now. But it does seem like the NFTs are taking the biggest hit out of all of them, and that kind of leads into the next topic that we're going to talk about. It's just more of kind of a discussion to kind of just chop it up about how. I mean, me personally, I think NFTs are taking the biggest hit in this crypto crash. Not even talking about the stock market or any of that other stuff, but just like between cryptocurrencies. I'm sure, sure, what is it? Terra Luna, went under, right? So it's like there's
Yeah.
that's bad, but think about all the NFT projects that are going away. But I do want to bring Robin to the chat here into our live stream.
Producer Rob
So here,
has
let
joined the
me get
fight.
him in. There he is.
It's like Super Smash.
Hey, hey, Rob has entered the chat.
Yeah,
What up, Rob?
yeah. But yeah, so it's like I really wanted to kind of just different points of view because I don't really have any kind of direct questions. It's just the way I look at NFTs is you know they're continuing to plummet, and it's getting to the point where collectors are getting discouraged that their investments that they made. Sure, a lot of people too in the space they bought it for the art, but there's also kind of a promise when you buy this stuff. Yeah, some people buy it for the art. Yes, Rob. Uh, but it's like there is kind of a promise that later down the line that this project, if it becomes hyped up enough, it could end up being kind of like the Mechaverse. That was so hyped. There's issues there alone, but those projects, like anyone who used to own a floor level Mechaverse NFT, you're probably kind of bummed right now that it's only worth 1.2 after you probably missed your chance to sell it for 4.
Let's talk about that hype. Forbes wrote an article on the Mechaverse. That's the hype. That's the hype.
Uh,
Well, look, MTs are going to hit the hardest. I just quickly took a look at some of the top 10 projects on Cardano, and some of them are down 40 to 50% over the past week alone. And I take a look at NFTs as a luxury item. Some people
Oh,
might take a look at them as investments, but if you really are investing for the art, I mean, rich people invest it. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of different reasons why money laundering, but it's a luxury item. So if you have the spare cash, yeah, maybe you like the project, you're gonna buy one, two, three, eight. I don't know how many people buy, right? It all depends on how much discretionary spending they might have.
yeah, no, that's true. And I mean, you got a point there. I mean, I think there's different levels of NFTs being used as investments. There are the well-known artists or digital artists that have made NFTs. So like those kind of have value already based to them because they're a one of one. It's just like owning someone, an artist's work. That's just in a digital form. So there are other artists like that are out there that do that. Mostly those are the ones that you see on like Nifty Gateway or like Super Rare or even some of these like like musical artists that put out like NFTs co-signing with their other stuff, or like Beeple being an example. Like Beeple's work will probably still be good unless he goes on a racist tirade or something. So it's just
It happens to the best of them.
I mean, it does, I guess. But like,
the old career killer,
Right.
He just went on that racing tirade. The old career killer.
Well, look, I think this bear market, I think it's going to be a lot of people's first bear market, right? Baby's first bear market. They don't know what to expect or how to put their money in bear market.
That's going to be the biggest bear market that anyone's ever experienced. I mean, They may have come out of the previous one at what, 19K was the top. Now we're coming out of what, 60K?
Look, it's gonna wipe out a lot of projects. A lot of these projects that pay for the hype, they're not going to be there anymore. So I think this is where the next evolution is going to be. I've always liked NFTs with utility, whether that's in the DeFi space or even like a Bored Ape. It gets you into a real life party or something like that,
or just the commercial use of the Bored Ape too.
Yes, that as well. Yeah. I mean, with the Seth Green getting his Bored Ape back, right? There's always utility there. So I think people should really look for utility within NFTs, not just the art. I think that was NFT like 1.0. Great, right? You got in for the art. You like the artist. Always support the artist. But I think the artists are going to have to put utility into their NFTs, and that's going to be the next level. And I think that's where people should be looking into during this bear market, because the gains are made in the bear market. This is where you put your investments in the bear market, and then the bull market happens, and then you're going to see like 100x, 1000x returns. This is not financial advice. I'm just throwing numbers out there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it just depends. If you're just collecting NFTs because you like the art, go ahead. But you should also be aware, if you're spending 30 Ethereum on a piece of art from some artist, just know that if it doesn't have more to it, it doesn't have some sort of utility, it's not about a part of a greater scheme for this artist plan or something, then it what I mean, then it just might be like you're wasting money, or you're just a crypto whale and you're just blowing cash because you can. But it's like me. Some of the art, some of the NFTs that I've picked up, I probably would never sell. They're probably not worth much now, especially right now. But I would never sell because that's, for me, I wanted the art. I like the art. So I'm like, I understand those people, but you are right. I do think going forward, NFT projects are going to have to start putting in some sort of utility, which we haven't really seen. We've seen some projects doing it. Bored Apes kind of fell into it in the sense, just I think mostly because of how big they got and how everyone wanted it. And when you look at CryptoPunks and Bored Apes, they both came out pretty much around the same time. One's way surpassed the other, and that's Bored Apes because there's the commercialization of it. So and I do think that kind of brings up another kind of topic here, is like the difficulty to launch a new project in this bear market, which is crazy because I still see projects launching. I don't know how you're doing it. Who has the money to buy into this?
I think realistically, everyone right now, markets are down. So like getting into a project right now is going to be super inexpensive, as it was like in its crypto prime.
Not everyone. I mean, a lot of people did get wiped out with this Celsius and the Luna, the Terra Luna. So not everyone has money to place in it. I mean, I didn't do any Luna or Celsius, right? So I might have some discretionary spending to put in NFTs, but I would be looking for NFTs with utility. I mean, Rick even said this like a few months ago. I think like he at the time he didn't believe in NFTs, and he was just like, I would just put it like up. I would buy like a rock. Like I would buy, me personally, I would buy a black square if it has utility to it. Right? If the art's there, okay, great, fine, art's cool. Always support the artist, but if the utility is something unique, then yeah, I would want to look for something like that. And then maybe flip it, or maybe use a utility for like a business purposes, like we've spoke about with the Bored Apes.
Yeah, or yeah, I mean, yeah, honestly I think this bear market's really gonna, like, you're gonna see a shift to like how me and Rick have like alluded to in the past, like where NFTs are gonna be used for other things than art or these projects. I think this is where we're gonna.
You guys made fun of me when I was talking about NFTs for houses, and then I remember one of your shows you were talking about real estate NFTs. I mean, I think that would be the
Well,
evolution.
okay, but that was because of the way you made that argument. You were saying, well, if the NFT is of a house, then you own the house. And it's like, no, you have to own the deed to a home. You can't just have a picture of a house and say, I own that
Right.
house. That's not
Yeah,
how it
otherwise,
works.
you know, I'm coming over and like,
It's all in the
I own
metadata,
that
okay?
house.
It's all in the metadata.
I named my gun metadata too. How'd you know?
But you're not wrong though. You weren't that far off of where it ended up going. Where this home was sold. I mean, a shell corporation was sold as an NFT, and the NFT was owned by the house was owned by the whatever all that stuff. Like, so it's
Funny
like
logic.
yeah. Yeah. But it's like that. This is where I think we're gonna start seeing more, like other uses for it. Like in that case where a deed of a home was made as an NFT and then a company owns it. I think that was just a lot of hoops to avoid getting sued or paying taxes or something like that for the people or whatever. I'm sure there's some reasoning for all that, but I think this is where you're gonna start seeing the music industry starting to put their contracts on a blockchain. Maybe not right away because they need to figure out what blockchain is going to still be around after a big crypto winter. So it might be, for all we know, Ethereum or on Cardano or on whatever. It could be on pretty much anything that has smart contracts. Just as long as also we figure out a way to secure those contracts so they don't get attacked by hackers. So they can destroy the careers of musicians, because that'd be hilarious if Justin Bieber lost everything because of a black hat hacker.
And look,
Hey, well, let's give Justin Bieber, a little bit of a break. I don't know if you've seen what he looks like recently, but
Yeah.
Well, I mean, his fault for irreversible damage because of.
Oh, yeah, you talking about Chadwick Boseman? The Chadwick Boseman?
No, I'm talking about a medical procedure. But look, there's music artists that are already looking into the blockchain. I know that Snoop Dogg is one of them, and his son. They've been in the Cardano space, or at least his son has, and his son has been telling his dad, Snoop Dogg, about blockchain. And Snoop Dogg is telling his buddies in the music industry about this technology and how it's another way to monetize, their beats, or if someone wants to do a bar on a track, you just buy the track and it gives you the right to drop your lines on it and then sell it on the secondary.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're doing that. We're only seeing the ground floor right now.
Yeah, but I think this is where like I was kind of more saying is like, yeah, you'll see it kind of like that, like music being minted as NFTs or whatever, because that's kind of been happening, not in the mainstream, but I think it like more of on the back end in the business format, like contracts, other stuff like this. Shit, even like your city council can start writing up documents and putting it on a blockchain, so then anybody and everybody can see it. Then it becomes like, imagine if the state government passes a law in California, they have to announce it and put it on their website so everyone knows. If the California state government decides to go, oh, we want to go crypto, we're crypto friendly, and they start minting NFT or laws that are as NFTs, people will be able to go and track it down and see the law and read it, and then that might be their way of being like, well, the public knew about it if you didn't read it.
The old Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy excuse. I like it.
Public notice, yeah. Oh man,
hey, it's posted.
That can be used, for nefarious purposes. Yeah. So I can definitely see that.
I mean, not just nefarious purposes, but like that's just one thing that popped in my head right now. So it's just like, I don't know. We'll see where it goes, But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how NFTs rebound from this. I don't think NFTs will die, but as me and Rick have alluded to before in some past shows, I think NFTs as an art form is a bubble, and I think we're seeing the pop. It's just happening kind of in slow motion.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's like that one saying, slowly then suddenly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we might be seeing the slow motion part. I wonder what the suddenly is going to look like.
Oh, it's gonna be beautiful.
It's gonna be glorious, man.
It really will be. I mean, as a person who I love NFTs, and this show might not last that much longer if that happens, but it will still be glorious.
Right.
I'll burn with
It'll be a solid memory. We'll look back. Hey, you guys remember NFTs? Yeah, they got huge, big enough to start a show.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, hopefully that's not the case, and we stay around. But like, yeah,
Right.
who knows?
In the Hall of Fame, up with Beanie Babies.
You're an asshole. You're an asshole. That was good. But I think we'll end on that on a light note. Yeah, so thank you, Rob, for joining the stream. Thank you, Rick, as always. Yeah, go follow me on Twitter at NFTs with Keys, as well as go follow Rob. He's the one that runs the Twitter at Our Heroes Crypto. Also, too, as I said earlier, go to swanbitcoin.com/AGC for $10 of free Bitcoin. And then, as always, at the end of the show, I hand it to Rick to make his shameless or not so shameless plug for.
I mean, if Bitcoin's not your game and like you got I don't want to call it a superior cryptocurrency, but a cryptocurrency that can be utilized in more situations than that fat Bitcoin, right? If you got a little ADA in your pocket and you got it staked in a wallet, why not think about staking it to AGC? We're a single stake pool operator, which means that when we mint a block, you get maximum rewards. That's ticker AGC. But if Bitcoin is your thing, remember, swanbitcoin.com/AGC, $10 of free Bitcoin. We got you. Got
Do you have anything else to say, Rob?
Well, thank you for bringing me on. It's been a great discussion.
All right. And with that, I'm out. We're out. Deuces.